to Science Learning Gateway. I hope you people are doing great. So today I came up with a new chapter for class 12th biology, and today we are going to discuss chapter number 8, human health and diseases. This chapter is a requested chapter. Many of you have commented in the comment box that please upload this lesson. So on the request of you people, I am going to discuss this chapter today. So in this will be part 1 of the video, in which few topics I will be covering. In the next parts we are going to cover the rest of the topics. So in total we will finish off the full chapter. This chapter is from your NCERT textbook, and this will come for CBSE term 2 syllabus also. In state board syllabus also this chapter is there, and in many of the competitive exams also this chapter will help you out. And it's a very interesting chapter in which we are going to discuss about the diseases which occur in humans. So guys, it's a very interesting chapter and it's easy also, but few of the things which you have to remember so that you can give all the answers in your exam. So let's start with the chapter, and today we are going to discuss part 1 of this lesson, in which we are going to discuss the introduction parts and types of diseases. So let's start with our discussion. So first of all, you should know that what do you understand by the term health, right? So what is the meaning of the term health? The state of physical, mental and social beings is called health. Suppose if we talk about a single person, and we can say that he is physically also fit, he is mentally also fit, and socially also he is fit. Means overall he is in a very good state, means his mind is also properly working, physically also he is looking good, and mentally also he is very good. So we can say that he is a healthy person. Means he is physically fit and fine. He is physically also fit and fine, and mentally also fit and fine. So that is the definition of health. The state of complete physical, mental and social well-being is called health. Next, health simply does not means disease free condition or physical fitness. Means what they have given over there, that if you talk about the term health, it is not simply that if you are not having any disease or you are physically fit, we cannot say that you are healthy. You should be mentally also you should be healthy, socially also you should be healthy. Means your behavior should be good with the other people. Mentally means your mind should be free of all the tensions. You should be in a good, means you should be happy at all the time. Then only we can say that you are a healthy person, right? Suppose you have lot of tension. Nowadays you are going to have your exams. So one tension is there in your mind that yes, we are having exams, and after that you are not feeling, means some tensions everyone should have that type of tension, that we are having the exams. So that time we cannot say that you are healthy, because some tensions are there in your mind. But if you don't have any tension, you are very relaxed, you all are in a very good position, then we can say that we all are healthy. Now see, there are some factors by which health is affected. So in your NCERT textbook, 3 factors are given. Okay, so what are the 3 factors which are given over there? Let's discuss this one. The first one is genetic disorder. So what is the meaning of genetic disorders? The defect or the diseases which the child get from their parents, that is because of genetic disorders. Many of the diseases are there that the child can get from the parents. For example, diabetes is a very common disease nowadays, which is generally a genetic disorder or a genetic disease, which generally people get it from their parents or from their generations, right? So first factor is genetic disorder, in which the child or the progeny get the defect or the disease from their parents. Means because of the genes are transferred from the parents to their children. So if there are some defects or disorder in that particular parent, that genes will also be transferred in the child. So the child will also get that disorder. Correct. The second is infection from microbes or other organisms. Infections from nowadays you can see that COVID-19, cough and cold. These all diseases are because of infection. We used to travel so many places. We used to go to school, offices, restaurants, colleges, etc. Even we used to eat the roadside foods, right? So because of those things also we can get infections sometimes. So many of the diseases occur because of infections also. Next is the lifestyle. Nowadays you can see that lots of people, they are suffering from many of the disorders or the disease because of the lifestyle. They used to sleep at night, means they used to sleep at night at very late, means around some of them used to sleep at 2 p.m, 3 p.m, like that. and they wake up at then they in the morning also they wake up late. Because of that also many of the people are getting affected because of the disease, and the people are not taking good amount of food, nutrients, diet. They're not drinking lot of water. Exercise is also not they are doing. Rest, which is very important for a healthy person, that is also not included in today's lifestyle. Because of this we are getting affected because of the diseases. So nowadays the lifestyle which we are living or which we are doing is not at all good for our health, because in that lifestyle we are prone to many of the diseases. Now, how we can maintain good health, right? So there are some factors which are given in your textbook by which we can maintain a good health. The first factor is balanced diet. You know that a balanced diet, what is a balanced diet? A diet in which all the nutrients are present in a correct amount is called a balanced diet. So what do we understand by the nutrients? Nutrients means carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. All the nutrients should be present in a diet. That diet is called a balanced diet. So we all should eat a balanced diet so that we can get a proper nutrients. We should not be deficient of any of the nutrients, and we will not get any diseases also. Second is personal hygiene, means we should wear clean clothes. We should brush our teeth 2 times daily. Then we should take bath daily. We should keep our surroundings and our house clean. That is called personal hygiene. And because of that also we cannot get any infections or any of the diseases. Next is regular exercise. So you all know that to be in healthy and fit and fine, daily we should do 30 to 45 minutes exercise daily, right? So by that we can keep our body fit and fine. Awareness about the diseases and the effects. Suppose some of the diseases nowadays you can see in the news channels and in the newspaper, people are getting aware of the disease of COVID-19 disease. So if any disease is there, means if any news disease is there, that we should get awareness about that, means by through the news channels or through the newspapers or through the TV shows, etc. Awareness should be spread in the society that how dangerous that disease is there, how we can prevent that disease, and how we can take the precautions. Next is immunization against the infectious diseases, right? So many of the vaccines are available of some of the diseases by which we can protect our body from the infectious diseases. Nowadays because of COVID-19 the vaccines are available, 2 doses are available. We should take both the doses so that we will get less prone to that diseases, COVID-19 diseases. Proper disposal of waste. See, from our house lot of wastes are we used to collect lot of waste from our house, even from the factories also lot of waste are there. So we should dispose those waste in a proper place so that we should not get any, means so that our environment should not get polluted, and we should also protect ourselves from the diseases. Control of vectors. So vectors means the carriers of the diseases. For example, malaria is carried by the female Anopheles mosquito. So we should control the vectors so that we cannot get the diseases. Maintenance of hygienic food and water. So the first and the very important, the last but the most important thing is that the food and water which we are taking every day, it should be hygienic. It should be free from germs, microbes, etc. so that we cannot prone to those diseases. For example, typhoid. How the typhoid disease is spread? Because of the contaminated food and water. So if we will eat that contaminated means dirty food and water, if we will eat, we will get prone to that diseases. So it's very important that we should eat hygienic food and water. Now let us learn about diseases and its types. So what is the definition of disease? First of all, we should understand that. So what is the meaning of diseases? Right? So when you are not feeling comfortable, means some of the signs and symptoms can be seen in your body. When you are not feeling comfortable, means suppose you have some stomach ache, headache, some problems you are having during breathing, then you will understand that yes, our body is not working properly, or we are not feeling comfortable at all. So that time we can say that we are not healthy, or we are having some diseases, right? So that thing is called disease. So over there you can see 2 words are there, signs and symptoms. So signs and symptoms. So what is the meaning of signs and symptoms? Symptoms means the thing. Symptoms means the the people who is having some symptoms. For example, you're having headache, your skin color is changed, that you can observe by yourself. So those things are called symptoms. And what is the meaning of signs? Signs means when you go to the doctor, when you visit a doctor, the doctor will observe you. For example, he will check your pulse rate, he will check your blood pressure, then those things are called signs. So because of signs and symptoms, we can say that we are suffering from some of the diseases. So let's learn the definition of disease. When the functioning of one or more organs or system of the body is adversely affected, characterized by various signs and symptoms, we say that we are not healthy, that is, we have a disease. Means when your one organ, suppose any of the organ, it can be eyes, it can be nose, it can be lungs, it can be kidney, or the complete organ system, for example digestive system, excretory system, nervous system, they are not working properly, and you can observe the signs and symptoms in your body, that time we can say that we are having some diseases. Right? So that is the definition of disease. Now let's learn about the types of diseases. So in your textbook, it has been given that there are two types of diseases: infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. Also you can say communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. But generally we are having two types of diseases as congenital and acquired diseases. Congenital and acquired diseases. So what is the meaning of congenital diseases? Congenital diseases. Congenital, this is just for your extra knowledge. Congenital diseases are those diseases which we get from our parents. For example, any genetic disorder. For example, you can talk about diabetes, that we can inherit from our parents. And the next type of disease is called acquired diseases. Acquired diseases are those diseases which we get after our birth, which we can get after our birth. For example, cancer, jaundice, typhoid, those diseases which we get after our birth. So acquired diseases are of two types: infectious and non-infectious, which we are going to read now. Infectious and non-infectious diseases are the types of acquired diseases. So let's learn this. The first type of disease is called infectious diseases, also called communicable diseases. Infectious, from the word infectious you can understand that the disease which we get, which can be transferred from one person to another person, is called infectious disease. Suppose one person is there, person number A, he is having cough and cold. When he will cough or sneeze, his droplets will travel to another person B. Then that type of disease is called infectious diseases. Means the infections are traveling, it is transferred from one person to another person. That is called infectious diseases. For example, common cold, AIDS, right? These are called infectious diseases. Now, so let's learn the definition of infectious diseases. The diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to another are called infectious diseases. It's very easy. If the question will be asked what are infectious diseases, you can write the definition by your own. The diseases which are transferred from one person to other person are called infectious diseases. Example, AIDS. If the fluid of the infected person who is suffering from it is transferred to other person, right, by a syringe or by any sexual contact like that, then that disease that disease can be transferred from one person to from the infected person to a healthy person. So AIDS is an infectious disease. Common cold, suppose your classmate is having cough and cold, so you'll see that next day you will also get cough and cold, because his droplets will travel to your body also through nose or mouth, and you will also suffer from common cold. You can write COVID-19 also, that is also infectious diseases, correct? Malaria, tuberculosis, these all are the examples of infectious diseases. Now let's learn about non-infectious diseases. So what are non-infectious diseases? From the name you can understand the diseases which are not transferred from one person to another person are called non-infectious diseases. For example, one person is there, he is suffering from cancer. If you're sitting near person A, you're eating with him, you're sleeping with him, you're sharing the things with him, then also you will not get that cancer disease in your body, because that cancer is a non-infectious disease. It will not transfer from the infected person to the healthy person, right? So see, the diseases which cannot be transferred from the one person to another person are called non-infectious diseases. For example, cancer. Hypertension means high blood pressure, that situation is called hypertension. Diabetes, that is also an example of non-infectious diseases. Now let's have a quick look on the flowchart which is given over there. We will summarize all the things till what we have read now. So first of all, what we have read about health. So what is health? State of physical, mental and social well-being is called health. Now there are three factors which affect health. The first factor is genetic factor. For example, what are genetic factors? The disorders which we get from our parents. For example, diabetes, sickle cell anemia. Lifestyle, because of lifestyle also we are getting many diseases. For example, obesity. Many of the people, they are suffering now because of lifestyle, means their weight is getting increased day by day because of the lifestyle which they are prone to that now. Next is infections. Because of infection also we are suffering from many of the diseases. For example, common cold, influenza, etc. Now we have to read about the two types of diseases. The first type of diseases is infectious diseases. What were the infectious diseases? The diseases which are easily transferred from the infected person to a healthy person are called infectious diseases. For example, common cold, AIDS, COVID. Next is non-infectious diseases. Diseases which are not transferred from the infected person to a healthy person are called non-infectious diseases, also called non-communicable disease. Example, cancer, diabetes. Right? So these were the things which we have read till now. Now let's move towards the next topic. Common diseases in human. This is our next topic which we are going to read now. Common diseases in human. You can see that this in your textbook also. It has been discussed in one topic, but I have given you a table over there so that it will be easy for you to learn this easily. Okay, now see. So now in humans, you know that lots of diseases are there, and many of the people are suffering from these diseases, right? So first of all is the thing is that how we are getting that diseases, right? So many times it happens that some of the diseases are transferred from one person to other person. Those are called infectious diseases. But some of the diseases are not transferred from one person to other person, that are called non-infectious diseases. But sometimes what happens, there are some microorganisms which are responsible for the diseases. For example, bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa, helminths, they are responsible for some of the diseases and we call them pathogens. So what are pathogens? The disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. For example, bacteria. Sometimes bacteria are good also, they are useful for us, but sometimes they are harmful also. They cause many of the diseases in humans also, plants also, and animals also. Likewise, virus also cause many diseases in humans. Fungus, protozoa, helminths, they all cause disease in humans and we call them pathogens. So how we get disease from these pathogens? What happens, that pathogens will enter into our body by various means. They can enter through food that we eat, they can enter through the water which we can drink, and they will multiply in our body. They will grow inside our body, and after that they will interfere with the normal systems which occur in our body. Means they will provide harms to our body. Many of the functions and many of the processes which go in our body, they will stop because of those pathogens and microorganisms, and after that we can get many of the diseases because of those pathogens. So let's learn about the diseases which we get in our body because of bacteria, virus, fungus and protozoa. The first disease which we are going to read is because of a bacteria. Okay, and that disease is called typhoid. You all have heard about the word typhoid fever, and it is caused because of one of the bacteria called Salmonella typhi. So please guys, remember the name of the organisms which causes the disease. So the disease which is caused by Salmonella typhi is typhoid. Now, what are the symptoms which we can see in an organism if a person is suffering from typhoid? Typhoid is also called enteric fever. Enteric fever means this microorganism Salmonella typhi, it affects our intestine. Right? And this typhoid, how we get this typhoid infection in our body, or how this microorganisms enters into our body? Because of the contaminated food and water. If we eat contaminated food and water, we can suffer from this disease called typhoid. Now, what are the symptoms which we can see in an organism who is suffering from typhoid? Sustained high fever. The person will have a very high fever, right? He will also feel very weak. Weakness is there. Stomach pain is there in his body. And during summer season, it is recommended that we should not eat the food which is sold outside or near the roadside, because in that chances of this bacteria is much more, and in a very high temperature around 36 to 37 degree, their growth is also very high. So it is recommended that in summer season we should not eat the food which is sold outside. Next, one test is there by which we can confirm that the person is suffering from typhoid, and the name of the test is Vidal test. Vital test. So please remember the name of the test. Three things you have to remember over there. The first one is the name of the organism, that is Salmonella typhi. Typhoid is caused by a microorganism or a bacteria called Salmonella typhi. Next is you have to remember that it is confirmed by a test called typhoid test. And one more thing which you have to remember over there is the symptoms. Now, let us learn about this next one, that is called pneumonia. Pneumonia is caused by a microorganism called Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. There are two organisms which causes pneumonia, Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenza. Right? And this pneumonia, it is a respiratory disease. It is and these organisms generally affect our lungs. In our lungs, alveoli are present, and you know that the function of alveoli is it helps in the exchange of gases. But if alveoli of the lungs will get affected, you know that the gases exchange will not be possible, and we can suffer from the disease called pneumonia. And now, what are the symptoms of this disease called pneumonia? Fevers are there, chills are there, cough and headache. The person cannot breathe properly in pneumonia. He will get fever, chills, cough and cold, headache also. Okay. Now, what are the effects? Alveoli get filled with fluid, leading to severe problems in respiration. In the lungs, the alveoli which are present, which help in the gaseous exchange, they are filled with the fluid, and after that the gaseous exchange will not possible, and the person will suffer from breathing problems. He cannot respire properly. Next is a common cold, and common cold is caused by a virus. It is a viral disease. And which viral is responsible for common cold? Rhinovirus. The name of the virus is rhinovirus. Now, what are the symptoms of common cold? You all can write the symptoms of common cold, because every time we get common cold, cough and cold. The nasal congestion and discharge, sore throat, cough and headache. These are the symptoms of common cold. And what are the effects of this common cold? Infect the nose and respiratory passage. Generally, if a person is suffering from common cold, his nose will get infected, and the respiratory passage will also get infected because of the common cold. Next is malaria. Malaria is caused by a protozoa called Plasmodium. So there are three types of plasmodiums which are given in your textbook: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malaria, and Plasmodium falciparum. These all three types of plasmodium affect the person, and the disease malaria can be seen over there. So this Plasmodium is a type of a protozoa. And who carries this Plasmodium? It is carried by Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles mosquito is the vector which carries this Plasmodium, and they infect the human beings. Next, what are the symptoms which we can see in a person who is suffering from malaria? Chill and high fever recurring to 3 to 4 days. The person will feel very chill, and continuously he will get fever for 3 to 4 days. Now, what are the effects in malaria? Parasite multiply within liver cells, and they attack the RBC. Once the parasite will enter into our body, when the female mosquito will bite you, through the saliva of that female mosquito, that infection or that Plasmodium will enter into your body. It will reach to the liver cells, and over there they will multiply, and they will attack our RBC. After that, the infection will spread in our full body. Right? Next is Amoebiasis or Amoebic Dysentery. It is caused because of Entamoeba histolica. This is the microorganism which is responsible for the disease Amoebiasis or Amoebic Dysentery. So what are the symptoms of this disease? Constipation, abdominal pain, cramps, stool with mucus, and blood clot. These are the symptoms for amoebiasis. And what are the effects? Affect the large intestine. Since you know that this Entamoeba histolica, when it will enter into our body, it will affect our large intestine. That's why we can see these symptoms of constipation, abdominal pain, right? Next is Ascariasis. Ascariasis is a disease which is caused by a helminth, and the name of the helminth is Ascaris. The name is very easy, and they are very, it's very similar also. Ascariasis, Ascaris. Now, what are the symptoms of this disease, Ascariasis? Internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, and anemia. These are the symptoms of the disease Ascariasis. Internal bleeding means inside your body bleeding will be there. You'll not know about that. Muscular pain will be there. You'll get fever also, and anemia. You can suffer from anemia also, loss of iron or blood in your body. Next, what are the effects of this disease Ascaris? Healthy person get infected through water, vegetable, etc. Suppose you are taking contaminated food, water, or any vegetable, you can suffer from this disease Ascariasis. Next is Elephantiasis or Filariasis. Elephantiasis or Filariasis. So how we can get this disease Elephantiasis or Filariasis? By a microorganism called Ucheria. So there are two types of Ucheria bancrofti and Ucheria malai. So this organism is responsible for the disease called elephantiasis or filariasis. What are the symptoms of disease? Inflammation in the lower limb and genital organs. You can see in your textbook one diagram is given over there. In that, the person is suffering from elephantiasis. His lower limbs or the legs, a lot of inflammation is there in that part. Now, what are the effects of this disease? Lymphatic vessels of lower limbs get blocked. See, since it is there we can see inflammation in the lower limbs. So the lymphatic vessels which are present in the lower limbs, they get blocked because of this infection. Ringworms. So Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton, they are responsible for the disease called ringworm. And ringworms, this disease we can see in our bodies. In skin we can see the patches or the scaly, some appearance can be seen in the skin. That is all because of the disease called ringworm. So appearance of dry scaly lesions on various parts of the body, that is because of ringworm. Infects the skin, nail, and scalp. Three parts are affected because of the disease ringworm: skin, nail, and scalp. And what are the organisms which are responsible for the disease? Microsporum, Trichophyton, and Epidermophyton. So that's all. These are the types of disease which you have to read in your NCERT textbook. So I recommend you that make a chart like this in your rough notebook or wherever you want, and make a notes of this type so that you can learn the name of the disease, the organism which is responsible for that disease, their symptoms and effects, so that if 1 marks or objective type of questions will come, you can easily give the answers for that. So that's all for today. We are going to discuss this will be the last topic for today, and the rest of the topic, that is life cycle of Plasmodium, we will do in the next part. So I hope you all have understood the topics which we have done today. So let's discuss it once again. First of all, we have read about health. So what is health? The state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being is called health. There are 3 factors which affect health: genital disorders, infection, and lifestyle. After that, we have also read that how we can get good health. That is by taking good food, that is balanced diet, by maintaining personal hygiene, by doing regular exercise, by taking the vaccines, by controlling the vectors, and by taking hygienic food and water, we can get good health. Next, we have read about diseases. What is disease? When we see any signs and symptoms in your body, or any of our organ system is not working properly, we can say that we are suffering from some diseases. So there are 2 types of diseases: infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. Infectious means the diseases which can be transferred from the infected person to the healthy person. Example: AIDS, common cold, COVID. Non-infectious diseases are those diseases which are not transferred from one person to another person. Example: cancer, diabetes, hypertension, etc. Next, we have read about pathogens. So what are pathogens? The disease causing microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, virus, protozoa. They are called pathogens. They carry the disease inside our body, and they multiply in our body, and they affect our body. Next, we have read about many types of diseases which are caused by bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa and helminths. In that we have read about typhoid. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi. Pneumonia is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. Common cold is caused by rhinovirus. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Amoebiasis is caused by Entamoeba histelica. Ascaris is caused by Ascaris. And Elephantiasis is caused by Eucheria. And ringworm is caused by Microsporum, Trichophyton and Epidermophyton. So that's all for today. In the next part, we are going to discuss the life cycle of Plasmodium. So thank you for watching this tutorial, guys. If you have any doubt, any questions, if you have, you can comment in the comment box. Definitely I will give a reply for your question. Thank you for watching. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe to it, and if this tutorial is helpful for you, then please click on the like button so that I will also feel motivated. Thank you.